these things don't take that long to make once you kind of get the hang of it. This is one of my favorite photos that I've taken on the iPhone, and I really like the darkness against the bright buildings, so I may want to keep that. First, you're always want to analyze your photo, and from there you can start deciding what you like about it, what you don't like about it. You can start removing distractions with this little tool like the spot healer, like right on Lightroom. Lightroom is a really powerful program, and a lot of people don't take advantage of it. So again, what I like is the highlights, the strong billboards against the dark. So I'm gonna keep that for sure. So I'm gonna start with this curves adjustment, and I'm gonna bring up the blacks a little bit. And the reason I do that, it's because I want to start bringing that down here, and it's gonna give it a little matte feeling, but I'm not losing as much black. And then maybe one more here. I'm gonna really push those highlights. Boom, 2 clicks already. So now I'm gonna bump up the highlights a little bit, and I'm gonna play with the color, well, the temperature, color temperature. I'll probably push this to the cooler side, but I always want to play around with the image. I want to see what works, what doesn't. Okay, and then there. Boom. Okay, now I'm gonna make some tweaks down here to the color calibration. And this is pushing a lot of my blues more to the aqua side. And then I'm gonna increase the saturation so that they really pop. Okay, increase some saturation here. And this is already giving it a nice cinematic vibe, but there is a lot of blue color cast or green color cast. So one way to kind of contrast that is by going into your shadows and selecting maybe magenta, and then bringing a little bit of that magenta in. Not a whole lot, just a little bit to kind of balance it out. If you want to bring something into the highlights, you could do that too. Like bringing color to the highlights often gives really, really cool effects. Kind of play around with it a little bit and see what I like more, or see what I like the best. I tend to go a lot with yellow. Yellow I think is really cool. And then maybe bring the balance over to the yellow side. Boom. So I'm gonna bring the vibrance up because I still want more color. I know, give me more. And then saturation, I really don't play around that much with saturation. Some photos, yeah, some photos, no. But play around with the slider, see what you like, see what you don't like. Clarity, I'm not a super fan of clarity, so I just adjust accordingly. And you don't have to apply all these settings, I just like to see what works, what doesn't work. Shadows, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more because I want the light to really pop up. And then boom. And then maybe add a filter here. And change this. So it kind of gives a, maybe, I'm just trying to see how I want to the focus where I want the focus. Okay, let me invert. And then highlights up. Now I'm gonna take my brush, and then I'm gonna just paint here, some color here, some lights here, here. And my brush is like, let's see, the brush is like 70% feather, flows at 20. And the size changes, but the density is at 100. That gives it a nice subtle pop of color. Okay, now I think might be a little too dark. Maybe not, but just bring this up. Boom. And again, this was shot on an iPhone, so you're getting a lot of awesome color pops with this. Bring another one in here, and then just bring down the clarity. Maybe not. I think it's fine like this. Let me just close this one. This. Alright, and there you go. That's the before and after. See, it doesn't really take that long. Once you know the kind of feeling you want and play around with all these sliders, you'll know what they do and what they don't do. So like, if I want to just continue playing around with it, I didn't touch any of these guys over here, but I can continue playing around with the photo and kind of micro and tweaking. I really leave these for last because they're more for tweaking than anything else. So like the luminance here, like really bring out those colors, those lights. Just finer adjustments. You don't need to do this in the beginning, because if you do this in the beginning, whatever you do to the temperature, everything else is gonna defeat the purpose of doing it, because then you have to change it all over again. So again, these are pretty much the final adjustments, because these are like the tweaking. Look at that, completely different photo in a few clicks. So that's my little tutorial. I'm not really that good at tutorials, but I hope you enjoyed it.